In today's Model 2 video, I got incredibly high kill gameplay with an MGB TAC nuke using the Honey Badger, aka the Chimera. This is by far everyone's favorite DLC weapon. It's super easy to unlock, it's really fun to be able to use, and it's actually incredibly good. If you guys haven't enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe with notifications turned on, and of course, shout out to Nutty Gang here on screen. If y'all want to be featured in a future vid, make sure you guys comment Nutty Gang down in the comment section below. That being said, let's get into this. All right, fellas, so let's hop in here and break down the setup for you guys. Of course, we have the Chimera. It is maxed out level 18 out of 18. We of course have our secondary, which is the Deagle, aka the .50 GS. We have the Stim Shot is our tactical, the lethal is our Semtex, and the perk package here goes as follows: double time scavenger, fast hands, and quick fix. Overall, this is pretty much my perk package I've been running for a long time. I had someone comment about making custom perk packages. Pretty much you just have to go down here and create your own package. I don't know if they just weren't really like figuring that out, but pretty much that's all you have to do in order to be able to create a custom perk package. And then of course over here in the field upgrade section we have the munitions box. Now let's actually get in here to the Chimera. All right, so starting off here in the Chimera, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and forego a muzzle and a barrel just because we're going to keep the integrated silencer that comes with it. So we're going to go straight down here to the underbarrel section, and the first thing we're going to go look for is the FTAC Ripper 56. So this is going to be a great foregrip to be able to stabilize this gun out. This is one of those guns you can just max out in terms of like your sprint to fire speed and your ADS speed all the time, just because it's actually going to bounce around a decent bit if you don't actually tune it for some recoil stabilization or actually have, you know, the attachments for it. So I'll go ahead and throw in the FTAC Ripper 56 for aiming idle stability, hipfire accuracy, and recoil stabilization. Now let's actually hop into the tune for it. So with a lot of my tunes here recently, I've been whipping out the mouse here on screen to be able to actually show you guys how to exactly fine tune these things, and so you don't actually just go ahead and like slide these things, you know, one way or the other way and then pretty much just like call it a day with that. Like that's not necessarily the best way to tune these things, because that can actually lead to some pretty detrimental effects, and we don't want to do that. So the first thing we're going to do here is what we're going to you know, kind of decide on is that we're tuning this for recoil stabilization and a little bit aiming idle stability, just because we really got to stabilize this gun out, otherwise it's going to bounce around. So we're just going to like slide it all the way to the very end to be able to kind of see where we get that max benefit from. You guys are going to be able to tell that you get the max right around here before it actually starts negatively affecting this even more so. So we don't really have to go much past the 0.37 for that recoil stabilization. It's not, of course, maybe you'll get a little bit more out of this, but you're also going to really start messing with your handling, which is what we don't want to do. So we're going to be okay with actually having it right here. And now we're going to go down to the aiming idle stability side, and we're just going to kind of see where we can get out of this thing. And pretty much you can see that, I mean, look at that. I mean, you get a little bit, you know, you get a decent bit, but you just start losing so much there in that mobility side of things, and maybe you get that last little bit there, which is kind of what we're going to go for, because we want more of that aiming idle stability. It's kind of crappy to end up losing so much of that mobility, at least from this attachment, but don't worry, the entire gun will be fine as we're going to like bolster its mobility otherwise. Now on the magazine side of things, we're not going to keep the base 30 round mag. We're going to go throw on the 45 round mag. I'm still running a 45 on this thing. You guys definitely do not have to run a magazine, but personally, just because we're not running a barrel or a silencer, that kind of leaves us, you know, looking around for other things to throw on this gun. And one of those things to throw on this gun is the 45 round mag. So we're definitely going to go throw this on here. And of course, there is no tune for the 45 round mag, much like you cannot tune a laser, or sometimes you can't tune some of the stocks, but this is what we're going for. Next up, we're in the rear grip section here. We're going to bolster our mobility here with a rear grip. So that means we're going to go find the BRUEN flash grip. This is going to give us that sprint to fire and aim down sight speed. A really great grip here to be able to have on this gun. I definitely recommend for you guys to be able to try this thing out here. Well, specifically with the tune I got, works great for those closer to medium range engagements here, because we're kind of using this like the COD Ghost Honey Badger for you guys that remember way back to Call of Duty Ghost. Not a very fondly remembered title, but the gun from that game, the Honey Badger, was very fondly remembered. So we're actually gonna go throw on the BRUEN flash grip. And now the tune for this thing, and because we're already getting here some like that sprint to fire and aim down sight speed, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to go for a little bit more of that recoil steadiness, because like I said, this gun has a tendency to really bounce around quite a bit, and it's not that fun to kind of deal with that. So we're gonna go for that, and then we're gonna go for a little bit more sprint to fire speed here to make it so that we can be pretty agile. We're not as concentrated on the aim down sight speed portion of this. So we're gonna check this out, slide it all the way down here, but you can pretty much see that we're gonna get everything we need here pretty quickly in that recoil control category. I mean, at this point right here, this is pretty much the best point there's going to be. After that, you're just going to be really messing with your handling, which is what we don't want to be able to do. So that's something we have to always be aware of, is that sliding all the way to the end is not always the best option. And then now we're going to go for a little bit more sprint to fire speed. So we're going to mess with this here a little bit. And you can see, I mean, this is another case in point with those attachments. I mean, look at that. Pretty much right here. the max you're gonna get out of the handling, and after that, like, you just start messing with the entire rest of this, and that's not good. So a negative 0.23 and a plus 0.58 here. This is gonna be the tuning for our rear grip. Now, once again, to help increase our mobility, we're gonna go throw on a stock, and that's gonna be the Ravage 8, and this is gonna give us that crouch movement speed, sprint speed, and of course aim down sight speed. I personally don't ever go for, you know, like the crouch movement speed. Like, I really don't ever care for that. I just care about the sprint speed and aim down sight speed. And of course, I mean, this doesn't really give you any of that. This, you know, actually takes away all of that. So we definitely do not want to do that, but this is going to really help us out. For you guys that happen to be going for some crouch challenges or something like that, if there is crouch challenges, this could maybe help you out. But otherwise, sprint speed, ADS speed, what we really want out of this specific attachment. All right, so now the tuning for this thing here is going to go as follows. So this is one of those attachments that's a little bit weird in terms of you kind of like, it's like a double-edged sword. No matter how you really tune it, you're going to lose something either way, which kind of does suck. It's a bit weird. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. So we're going to go for more of the ADS speed, the aim walking speed benefits, since we've kind of been stabilizing this gun out here with some of these different tunes and these attachments. So the aim walking speed, I mean, you can see if I slide this all the way down, it's still gonna pull and you're still gonna lose over here, but it's still gonna max out all the way to the very end pretty much. I mean, maybe ever so slightly beforehand. I mean, actually, even I should take that back. It's not even gonna, it's actually still reaches its max at the very end, which pretty much should be how it should function in this game, but that's not really the case. So we're actually going to leave this actually maxed out at ADS speed, one of the few attachments you can actually max out. That's just because it actually still progresses to the very end, which is something that doesn't really happen that often. Now we're going to go down here and go for a little bit more of the aim walking speed, just because we're trying to be very agile, very mobile. So that's our goal. And so we're going to be able to also actually kind of pretty much max this thing out, just because, I mean, you start losing pretty much like a decent bit over here on the accuracy side of things. Like it pretty much like chalks itself pretty fast, but it really doesn't do a whole lot all the way to the very end, more or less. So I mean, we can pretty much hit the very end, or very, very close to. So a minus, you know, a 2.05, you guys can pretty much just slide to the end. It wouldn't really matter, but that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna max out for ADS speed and almost max it out for aim walking speed. And last, definitely not least, to kind of even give it more of a honey badger vibe and to actually utilize some of the, not the iron sights. The iron sights are decent, but they're not necessarily the greatest. We're actually gonna go throw on a red dot sight, and my personal preference on this is gonna be the CRONEN Mini Pro. So this is the blue dot red dot sight. This is gonna be the sight, of course, that is the red dot sight, but it has that coveted blue dot we all had from, you know, Modern Warfare 2019, Warzone. Everyone loved the blue dot, and this is definitely one of those things you have to be able to unlock. If you guys don't happen to have this unlocked, you can use any other red dot sight, but if you want to be able to unlock it, it's the Expedite shotgun. You have to level it up to about, I think, level 7. It's either that 7 or 12. And you should just be leveling up your shotguns and stuff anyways, because it helps you unlock universal attachments, and pretty much every other gun in this game does. So definitely go ahead and do that. That's a very easy early level unlock to be able to utilize on the entirety of all of your guns. And finally, for our last tune here today, we're actually gonna pretty much go ahead and max this thing all the way out to the far side, just because, I mean, what we're trying to do is position that sight a little farther away from us. That makes the gun like seem a little bit farther away, which is definitely a good thing. Can help with that visual recoil, allowing you to see more around you, which is definitely a huge thing. We also want to tune this for a little bit of ADS speed, so we're gonna just kind of take a look at this here and see what it really does. We don't have to go too crazy with it, but we get that very, very large jump here in the handling category very fast. And after that, I mean, as soon as we get out right about here or so, it doesn't end up jumping out much more than that. So we're gonna leave it pretty much at a negative 1.80, and we're not gonna mess with the accuracy and everything else like that. And we're gonna get some great ADS speed, and this is gonna be my final tune. So let's actually hop back in here, and this is my full build with the thing. Now let's go to the firing range. All right, now that we're here in the firing range, we're gonna be able to take a look at this thing and kind of test it out and see the recoil pattern. So I mean, it just bounced up a little bit. You have to kind of pretty much pull it down, but that's, you know, just to be expected. It strays back and forth pretty dang good. You'll see that by the gameplay, of course, the FTAC new gameplay. And I mean, this is a very easy gun to be able to control at those closer to medium-ish ranges. We're not using it for long range. That's just not really what this thing is. If you want like something that's got good range, maybe an M4 TAC 56, but otherwise, this is a really fun gun to be able to use. Throwback to Honey Badger, kind of paying homage to it with the build here. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Don't go anywhere. It's an absolute banger. Oh my god. I'm using kind of like the pacey on this map is like actually borderline ridiculous. Like, they spawns, everything worked. All right, we at least got an, our fast hands. The UAV. Because that is huge. That is huge. Oh, this thing is just so good, man. Look at that. Dude, we're going absolutely off right now. Took me a minute to get into a nice little rhythm there. Quick fix is on. That's big. Quick fix is definitely one of my favorite perks. I ran that all the time in MW 2019. Okay, is that guy just, as I say, he's not going to stay back there, is he? The nice thing about having something like air support wise on shipment is that people more often than not. Oh my god, I got lucky. People tend to focus a lot on the air support as opposed to you as soon as they spawn because they're not trying to get messed up by it. Which I can understand. Oh, we definitely need that ammo. Because we have like none. Did they just spawn them over here? Oh, they did. Oh, there it is. That's the MGB. Oh my god. I had no idea it was that close. Oh my lord. Bro, can I keep going? Yeah, this is not even funny how off I'm going, actually. Damn, I finally died, man. Well, fast hands, quick fix, honey badger, aka Chimera magic. Dude, I really do like this gun a lot. Calling that in. Make sure I get that, not the nuke. I don't know. Okay, they're all gonna spawn over here. Call that in. We actually have a little bit of time. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to drop again for a double. I don't think we have the time for that, but we'll try. Especially with teammates collecting tags, and I was collecting a lot of tags, not gonna cap. Call that in. Oh, we do have that advance going, so. Oh, okay. Maybe not, fellas, maybe not. All right, well, since this game is just about to end here, we'll go ahead and call this thing in. I believe it ends at 100 tags. And who knows how fast that's going to happen. Call it in, get the nice little W. This is such a good game, man. Using the honey badger. And I'm so happy, like, the authentic honey badger setup even, like, works for it, too. This is a lot of fun to use, man. A lot of fun. I think someone's about to take me out right there. Got a nice little 77 kills in KC. We'll take that any day of the week, man. Any day of the week.